What's going on, everybody? John Walker back again with another digital juice tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to use some digital juice gear to bring The Walking Dead open to life. Today we're going to be getting the hero shot for our Walking Dead open. Now that shot focuses on a sheriff's badge that is worn by the male protagonist in the show, Rick. Prior to the zombie apocalypse, Rick was a cop, and so this is showing a contrast with having the badge in this scary environment between Rick's life before the zombie apocalypse and his life now in this harsh environment. So we're showing the contrast between the badge that was what he lived before in this spooky zombie-filled world that exists today. The environment we're shooting in today is very important because you have to have a dark and scary place to go with the theme of the show. Now, with it being very dark, we need a very powerful light kit to be able to boost the level enough to where our cameras are able to be used. With the Helios light kit from Digital Juice, you get 3 lights. You get the 300 watt light and you get 2 650 watt lights. Plenty of power for what we need. But we're shooting a reflective sheriff's badge. When you shoot all that light onto the badge, the highlights are going to blow out. How do we control that? Well, the Helios light kit luckily has built-in dimmers on each light fixture, which is a huge advantage with this. It comes with barn doors and scrims, so you can shape the light and diffuse it, but being able to just turn down the dimmer and not have to worry about using some other type of diffusion to control the light is really a huge advantage with using this. It makes you more versatile, it speeds up the shoot, and just makes your day a lot easier. I had to turn down the 650 watt lights because they were just giving me too much light in the shoot, as you'll see when we go over here and break it down. I also used the DJ flag kit because I wanted to create a bounce, and so I used one of the white flags to shoot light into it to give me a soft light, and then I also shot a 300 through it to diffuse the light even more, and it gives me a nice little rim light that you'll see when we start breaking the shot down. This location has a lot of windows, so we had a lot of shots that had a lot of natural light coming in. And some of those shots we didn't have to light because the natural light made everything look great. But if we ever did use the Helios light kit, we had to use the Digital Juice color correction gels to balance the tungsten lights of the light kit to the daylight coming in the window. Now, daylight varies anywhere from 5600 degrees to 6500 degrees Kelvin, which when your camera is white balanced for tungsten, that will look very blue. So if you white balance your camera to the daylight coming in the window, your tungsten lights, which are 3200 degrees Kelvin, are going to appear very orange. So what you want to do is you want to take some of the CTB or color temperature blue gels, put them over your lights for your Helios kit, and then that way your lights will be balanced with the daylight. So then you can have your lighting all match. Now, what we did back here is we used the color correction gels creatively. What I mean by that is I took some of there are some what is known as plus green, and it's a green gel basically, and I put that over one of my 650s to give a green highlight to everything to match the color correction that we're going to do in the post-production tutorial that you can also watch here on DJ TV. I also used an orange, which is a CTO, on one of the other 650s just to warm up the shot a little bit. So you can use it to make your shot technically more accurate by balancing for light temperature, or you can use them in a creative sense to sort of give your light and a different look in your shot so that way it'll match with whatever you're trying to do. So let's head on over now and look at how I made this shot work, and we'll break down a little bit of what light scheme I used and how I used these gels and the bounce from the flag kit to give me that look that I was going for to match our Walking Dead open. This is the lighting scheme for our hero shot here with the sheriff's badge. We have a 3-point lighting setup. We have a key light, which is my 300 watt light shooting through this diffusion. I have a fill light, which is a 650 with a color temperature orange gel. And I have a backlight, which is a 650 with a plus green gel. Now the reason I use the plus green, as I talked about a little bit earlier, is I wanted to have some green light to kind of match the color correction we're going to do and match the look of the opening for The Walking Dead. The orange is bouncing off of this, and it kind of having that 650 with that orange gel just warms it a little bit, makes the shot a little bit warmer, and I like the way it goes with the green. I think the orange and the green go together very well. And that brings me to the next point, is lighting is all about taste. If you think it looks good, then it's probably correct. You want it to look good to your eye, and if it looks good in your camera monitor, then it's probably going to end up being what you like. But just remember, you're trying to convey emotion to your audience, and you want to use lighting to accentuate that. So we're trying to be scary, so we need high contrast. We want to have detail, but we also want to have shadows. So make sure that your lighting goes with what you're trying to present. We're doing The Walking Dead open, so we need a scary zombie feel. So I've got some green lighting that's high contrast, but there's enough detail to where I can see and read this sheriff's badge and I know what it is. One quick tip, use gloves when handling these tungsten lights. Helios lighting is tungsten, and so it gets very warm, and you want to be sure to use gloves when breaking this all down, because if you've had this set up for a long time, these lights get very hot, and you want to make sure that you use gloves so you don't burn your hands. So now let's talk about adding some camera movement to the shot. The second half to the equation of getting this shot is adding camera movement. Now, a big part of The Walking Dead open is there's lots of dolly and slider moves. And this is just my guess, but I feel like that they're trying to make the camera almost a character in the show. Like, imagine to yourself that the camera is a zombie. Zombies are very slow, depending on what zombies you like. They're very slow, very methodical. They creep in and sneak up on you, and so that's what our camera is doing. We're using the DJ slider dolly to do these creepy, slow camera moves. It's almost like the camera is a zombie sneaking up on the audience, creeping into their home. And so we want to make sure that we are able to control the camera. We could just lock this camera off and use a tripod. The static shot's going to be pretty, but we want to add some life to the shot. So we're going to take this, and I've also got the hi-hat adapter, which allows me to use my tripod head. So if I want to, I can do some pans and some tilts while I'm moving the camera, but for this particular shot, I wanted to just do a straight dolly slide just across. And I did kind of use a little bit of an angle to give it some parallax, but I also used the C-stand adapter kit, so that way I could use light stands and C-stands to mount this, because I've got one end on the table and one end up here on the stand, so that way I've got a little bit of an angle coming up, so when I actually do the camera move, it has a little bit of height to it when it comes up. So you can see right here, let me just show you the shot. So as we slowly slide across, you can see, very cool. The shot glints nicely with our highlight from our diffusion, and then when we move across, there's enough contrast and shadow to where it's still creepy and it's not too bright, and it really adds a whole lot to the image. You want to think about, the psychology of your shot. You want to think about if this is about zombies. Like I said, zombies are slow. Zombies are very creepy, and they sneak up on you. So you want the camera to kind of sneak up on the shot and just reveal the policeman's badge. And it's very effective, and it just, like I said, it adds so much life to your shot when you just have these subtle little movements. You don't need a really fast dolly move here. You want to go slow to match with the feeling of the show. And there's a lot of slider shots that we use in this promo, and I used the DJ slider dolly, and it really performed well. It's very well made, it's very sturdy, so I was able to go in all kinds of places around here and use this and not worry about it not performing. It performed well. There's a little tension knob that you can adjust to give yourself a little bit more difficult to push, so that way you're not accidentally going too fast. And being able to add that subtle touch just made all the difference in making this promo work and look exactly like the opening for The Walking Dead. Well, that's it for today's tutorial. I hope this got your brains going to help you unearth some of your own creativity. We use the Helios light kit, the DJ slider dolly, the DJ flag kit, and the color correction and diffusion gel kits to create a look that is just as good as one of today's most popular television shows. I think it looks pretty sick in my opinion, and I hope that this gets you excited about using DJ gear in your own productions. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or hit me up in the forums and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. My name is John Walker. Thanks for watching and we'll see you again soon.